Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iRacing Formula 3.5 Challenge Season Finale here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Alessandro Dalladone with Marco Barbera up here in the booth with us, and we are here live at the historic layout 1995. It's back and alive here in Spain, and I've got to be honest, the racing here to end out the season is going to be wild.
Absolutely, Austin. Thanks for having me again in the booth tonight. I'm loving it too. This is the layout we are here for. This is not the chicanes in the last sector. This is the proper two right-handers as we are approaching with Team Delay right now on our beautiful pictures from Marco Barbanera. So racing is gonna be hectic. Racing is gonna be definitely very interesting because tonight is the championship decider, Austin.
It is championship decider. There are a few possibilities on how Tim DeLau or Robert Tarleton could win the championship. SOF is extremely high tonight. We can get that up there. But Robert Tarleton needs to win this race with Tim DeLau lower than fourth for Robert to win the championship. If Tim finishes third or higher, Tim wins the championship. So those are the two numbers we need to find, need to be looking out for today. Tim DeLau and Robert Tarleton. Tim needs to finish fourth and lower for Robert to win. Tim needs to finish on the podium for him to win the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. We will have to do some math, but seems like it's a pretty simple rule. So we will have to keep an eye throughout the race as we are now already halfway through the qualifying, and Paul Ilbrink is at the moment leading.
Yeah, Paul Ilbrink, very good start for him, but Tim DeLau and Robert Tarleton have not set a lap right now. Tim is currently sitting in about sector 3, I presume, and Robert Tarleton just comes across the line. He goes second by 0.08 of a second. And this is Tim DeLau coming across the line right now. He goes second by 0.03 of a second. Paul Ilbrink, usually not a strong qualifier, but oh, he's on it today.
Absolutely. It's been great as we have Edward Samborski in the 5 car now taking pole position by almost a full tenth. Let's see if we have any other improvements. But seems like we have a few guys approaching the start finish line right now, but Kenneth Strom doesn't improve and stays in 17th.
Yeah, the Formula 3.5 car, absolutely a beautiful machine, but with the new update and the announcement of the IRO1, do you think we're going to be seeing a change to the series?
Well, it's going to be interesting. We obviously don't have any plan yet from iRacing, but I think the car will be still the Class B license reference for open wheelers. Obviously, the community around this car is very, very strong, and I think we will still have these beautiful races also in the next few seasons. Hopefully, iRacing doesn't change the plans, but definitely the future of open wheelers seems even brighter. But with the new car obscure, let's say, the Formula 3.5, we don't know yet.
I gotta say the Formula 3.5 is going to be the Formula 2 of iRacing, with the iRacing World Championships going over to that IRO1. Such a beautiful looking car and such a beautifully sounding car, and the way it should be, V10s.
Absolutely, I can absolutely agree with you, Austin. It's the perfect engine selection by iRacing, and being a, let's say, fantasy car, if you can pass me the term.
Fantasy car based in reality.
Yeah,
that's
this is amazing.
That's
No commitments to manufacturers and completely freedom of design and selection of engines. Obviously, this is great. As I think we have only Simone Pizzica, who we are actually following.
Oh no, Simone! Goes around in that long right-hander, and it is so tricky because there's a bump on that transfer than the entry, and he got onto that curb, and it's so easy to make the back end go out on you right there. But since we're on the historic layout, the best way and the way that it should always be to end out a racetrack without that chicane in there, which I still can never hit right.
Yeah, absolutely. The chicanes are horrible. And I'm really glad iRacing gave us the chance to run this layout because it's making for drivers a lot easier. Ooh, Simone giving us a great
Get
tiro.
into the dust and hard into the wall, and that's going to be Simone qualifying. Paul Ilbrink is still out there. I think he's just getting his own laps in right now. You know, extra practice before the session starts. He got 15 seconds, so why not use it for some more practice and getting used to this track state?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the track state is always dynamic, so any practice you've been doing before might not be the same, and drivers always need to adapt, even though they are one of the best in the business.
And as we hit 8 minutes of qualifying, it is over, and here is our starting grid for the final round of the iRacing Formula 3.5 Challenge. Edward Samborski takes pole ahead of Paul Ilbrink, Tim DeLau, and Robert Tarleton, the championship rivals starting in the second row together. They're followed by Greg Olson, Luke Groom, Jason Henrique, Shane Russell, Omar Baja, Rob Crouch, Fabio DuCarmo, Theodore Burns in 12th place. Followed by Nick Bradford, James J. Pinsker, James Byrne, Jamie Byrne, Beinmar Ludwig, Kenneth Strom, Phil Reed, and Simone Pizzica at the end of this 20-car grid.
It's gonna be definitely very interesting to see how the race will plan out, especially for the championship contenders, as we are in the gridding process, and slowly we will see cars popping up out of nowhere.
Yeah, they have 2 minutes to grid up right now. They're making some extra switches right now from qualifying over to race, maybe doing some last-minute adjustments to the race state. And that's how fine-tuned these guys are. And I can tell you, everyone in the top 5 has not hopped in yet. Edward Samborski just popped in, as they're all trying to find out which is the best way to go. But you can see the wind blowing in a few different ways from the flags on top of the stands. It is going to be a heck of a race. We're just waiting on Paul Ilbrink to hop in. He's now in. Ladies and gentlemen, boys to girls, let's end out this season with a bang. The 5 red lights are coming on. It's time to wind them up and let them go racing. Here are the iRacing Formula 3.5 Challenge, and what a start by Tarleton. He immediately jumps in front of Tim DeLau, and he's already up side by side with Paul Ilbrink. Now he's down to the inside of Edward Samborski. Tarleton and Samborski racing it into turn 1.
Great start by the 7 car, but Edward Samborski is still in the lead. I think we have a flip.
Pinker's roof, and Pinker gets into Pizzica.
Oh boy, another very bad weekend for James Pinsker. Not what he wanted to round up his season, as we are still in the 3rd place with Paul Ilbrink fending off Tim DeLau.
And this is exactly what Tarleton needs. We got a massive 4-car incident heading to that hairpin. Fabio DeCarmo, Omar Baja, Rob Crouch, Shane Russell out in the gravel. Samborski leading this race. Tarleton trying to get ahead of Samborski. Paul Ilbrink holding off Tim DeLau in 4th place. This is where Tim needs to be for Robert to win the championship, but Robert needs to win win this race to win the championship. And he needs to get ahead of Samborski, but that start was so good by Tarleton.
Absolutely, he had an amazing reaction time and great start, as Shane Russell is struggling even more with a damaged car. Not today, he wanted to, as we are approaching the end of the 1st lap, with Edward Samborski leading, Robert Tarleton 2nd, around 1 second is the gap, Paul Ilbrink, Tim DeLau, and Greg Olson rounding up the top 5.
See Samborski actually using DRS, trying to create that gap to pull away from Tarleton, as we got a race heading into turn 1 for 10th place between Byrne and Reed.
Yeah,
And also
great
don't
fight.
count out Henrique at the back of this, but Reed just on the outside, getting into that dust. He goes for the swoosh back down low, side by side they go. Reed sends it into the corner, but on the switchback, Bird gets it back there, and now Henrique looking on Reed.
Yeah, very, very nice fight with the tires still not at perfect temperature. Burn manages to go by Reed, but the fight isn't over. Drivers are still very close, and we will have plenty of passing chances in this track hosting for sure, as Tarton is 1.3 seconds behind now, so
He's losing time to Samborski. Samborski could be the Tim Delisle's secret weapon. He might even not even go for that top 3 spot, as Samborski is just putting on a mask glass. If Samborski wins this race, Tim Delisle wins the championship.
yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot easier our job to do some math tonight.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I also believe if Tim Delisle, like, to adjust for that points gap, I'm not sure, but I think if Charlton finishes second, Ilbrink would have to finish about
What did we just
8th
see?
place.
What attack was by Ilbrink around the outside? Like Tarton couldn't do anything about that. That was incredible.
That caught me out so well. I'm sad I didn't see that while I was trying to focus on math. Tarleton got very loose coming out of turn 3. And look at the speed gain that Ilbrink had. And then swings it around the outside. Tarleton down low. Little bit of a door close right there by Ilbrink, who just kept his car right there. And he swung that around the outside. Small mistake by Tarleton, but that's allowed Ilbrink to get back up into second place. And this championship has swung into Delisle's favor.
Absolutely. Now Tarton will have to do everything back again to go by the drivers from the Netherlands. And Team Delisle obviously making sure to have a clean race still in fourth. We have, I think, Ludovic in pit road. Might have been a jump start. I saw a bit of smoke before the lights were off.
Big possibility. Henrique looks down the inside of Reed. Big smoke right here, and here's that start. Oh, was that little... There was a little bit of a wiggle. Oh, yeah, that was a jump start. That was a jump start.
Greg Olson in 5th place. Is a good spot for him at the moment, in not too close to the line, but not even too far, as we check now with the start. Pinsker made a little touch.
A little bit of bump on the outside, and then just gets... Who was that sent him up there on 2 wheels and then came across the track into Simon Pizzica? Who, he did change his name from Simone to Simon. Tongue-in-cheek moment right there.
Yeah, definitely. Not a great day for him today, as he already is out of contention. But let's go back to the lead, because Ilbrink is closing down slightly.
Yeah, 2/10 that lap and the fast lap of the race for Paul Ilbrink, and he's leading up a big charge with Charlton in tow, with Delisle close behind. But Edward Samborski, a crash test man himself.
Last few laps, Samborski had only lap 3 was on 26.6. The other 2 laps were 26.3. It's perfect, very consistent. So he's doing a great job. But Paul Ilbrink, he showed us he's been very, very fast also in qualify, something he might have struggled a little bit in the last few rounds. But here we are on board with Enrique, the American driver, to get a spot in the top 10 on the field read.
Will Reed, a pad user, which is still impressive. I still can't believe he races on a pad.
Yeah, I never noticed that, to be fair. It's incredible. It's shocking to me after all these weeks, noticing, knowing only now. This is amazing. Utmost respect for him. Incredible.
3/10 that time for Ilbreak. 1:26.14. Paul is setting purple lap after purple lap, and he's leaving Tarleton behind him, who is going to be battling with Tim Delisle now.
Yeah, absolutely interesting developing here in the lead, because all these drivers are driving at such an amazing pace. Every so slightly mistake could really put them backwards and in the ant.
I don't want to cross-sentence this, but Delisle will need to at least finish this race to win the championship. So there's that, but I don't think neither of them wants that.
Absolutely not. I don't think these guys ever thought about that, to be fair.
Yeah, no.
I think team is definitely looking to keep the car clean, making sure it gets this fourth place. And remember, it's maybe for many of us in a racing not so important, but these guys, if for some reason they crash, they lose so much iRating.
Oh my goodness. 1:26.028. Ilbreak is on the brink of a 125 here.
That is absolutely amazing. But what about Edward Samborski with a 126.12? So indeed it was a great lap by Ilbreak, but also our leader is not doing it much slower. So these two are hammering so hard right now. The pace is incredible, and let's see if we can keep this pace till the end, when tires will be a little less grippy and have some tire wear. What an amazing video.
What an amazing, what a helmet.
You always
Eyes
have
of focus right there.
Yeah. This is a must have camera, at least for a few seconds every broadcast.
You can hear those tires struggling for grip around that long right-hander.
Yeah, it's very tough on the on the tire. This track, you lean a lot on the tires, especially in this last sector where
Samborski's faster this time.
Yeah, but see, the pace of Samborski is incredible. He did exactly the same lap time as the previous lap. Might be a bit.
Oh my goodness, he did.
So this showcase how much talent these guys have, and how happy we are to have the chance to showcase these on Apex Racing TV.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite series. It's definitely one of my favorite communities to commentate and just race with. I'm not the fastest guy in the Formula 3.5 car, but the community around this series is so helpful and so welcoming to everyone who wants to get into this car. It's a very, very welcoming place, and these top guys are always active in the community.
Indeed, this is one of the reasons why I hope the new car won't really change the plans of this championship for the next few seasons.
It's going to be the iRacing World Championship cars, replacing that McLaren up there, so they don't keep swapping it out with the Williams every now and then.
If you want to get started, maybe also with the Formula 3.5, don't hesitate to ask these guys, obviously, for help, but also keep in mind that you can get a little bit of help also through virtual racing school and improve on your track performance with a lot of data packs, not only for this car but also any other open wheelers or GT cars or even ovals and even more. So if you want to know more, go and check their website. This is a very good way to start and have already some sets available to you if you are like me and you have no clue what any setting is about.
As well as Apex Racing Academy group sessions and training, as well to make you the perfect driver over at Apex Racing Academy. As if you want to be the best on time with spotting somebody, I would say that there is no better timing software than the SDK live timing software, the most accurate in all of iRacing.
Accurate as the pace of Edward Sambowski, because he did another lap time very, very similar to that.
2,000th of us. Oh my goodness, Samborski is just Mr. Consistency as Ilbrink closed in 2/10 and then 3/10 in the last lap. Ilbrink is closing in on Samborski, who is just putting in lap after lap after lap. I think Ilbrink's, though, his tires might be going, but Samborski and Ilbrink have left Tarleton and Delisle.
Yeah, Ilbrink is doing an amazing job really in Sambowski. Little by little you see the gap is not changing so much, but every lap it gets closer and closer, and the draft will be even stronger and stronger. But with lap times, probably will slowly slow down, just slightly with tires. It's interesting to see also the temperature we have on the track today. That obviously is gonna affect tire wear, but seems to be pretty cool here in Barcelona, 25 degrees Celsius. So tire wear shouldn't be much of a factor.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool track as we ride on board with Ever Samborski, looking back at Paul Ilbrink as they're running nose to tail. You can see Tarleton just in the distance right now, and he needs to be winning this race if he wants to win this championship. But the way that these guys are running, their pace is just off the chain right now, as that is Omar Baja in the pits.
Yeah, surprised there. I didn't expect him to go to pit road. He probably had still some more damage after the shenanigans in lap 1 at the start, where he was collected in the 4-car crash.
Bradford now battling out for 7th. They have Byrne, Reed, and Henrique, who those three have been battling with each other all day. But Bradford, though, getting some good run on Luke Broom, the downforce racing driver. Closing in on that gearbox, gets a little bit squirrely in the braking area.
Yeah, this is a very tough portion of the track to follow so close. Obviously this car have a lot of downforce, but still when you are following someone and tires start to fall off ever slightly, you will have a bit of aero push, so it's not going to be easy for them, but obviously you will have the help and the system of the DRS, which you can... Ooh, we have
Burns off!
This corner is always very, very tricky. Whatever car you are using, this corner is, I think, one of the most difficult corners you will find in this track.
Too much mustard into there and just overworked the tires, and around he went.
No thing he could do once it was sliding, not coming back from that.
Yeah. Those long right-handers here are just so killer on the tires, and once you just lose grip and these cars that start to slide, you can catch the slide, but you have to be on point to catch them. And you're just carrying too much speed, and it's just impossible. But that corner, especially because of that hump, just upsets the car. It's just point no return there.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a nice switch of train behind Groom here, with platform Reed and Enrique.
Also, Barcelona getting a new track layout in the next updates next week. It's the new rallycross. Well, I say new. It's been there this entire time. It just hasn't been made an official layout. The new rallycross layout will be here in iRacing as they cross through that portion. It has it there. So, wonder if that hump is going to get some hammers to it.
Oh yeah, speaking of rallycross, we want to extend our congratulations to our own driver Johan Hart and the team Yokohama for winning both the drivers and team championship in the Racing World Rallycross today. So definitely more rallycross editions will mean a chance to get another great year.
Yeah, the Apex Racing team definitely is very proud of there as Bradford makes a glorious move on Luke Groom for 6th place. But Groom going down to the inside, side by side they go, heading into turn 4. Look at Phil Reed now, he's in this fight. We have so many cars in this fight, almost 5 of them nose to tail with each other as they head through one of the hairpins. Reed's got a good run on Groom. They're going to go side by side into one of the quickest corners on this circuit. Oh, this is going to be tight. Reed makes that move.
Absolutely amazing racing. And be careful, because if you don't make your attack work, you might lose on a position around here, because everybody is so close and packed together. This might be very, very, very interesting.
We're looking at our leader of the race, Samborski and Ilford, still separated by 7/10 as they start lap 14.
Yeah, already over the halfway through, so the race has been so fast, as fast as Samborski and Ilford were now a tandem for the lead of this race. They are now almost 4 seconds clear of Robert Arton and Team Delight.
Samborski, massive mistake through sector 1. 6/10 gain by Paul Ilbrey that time by. This could be the mistake of the race that can allow Samborski, well, can allow Ilbrink to make that move for the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's obviously also going to be interesting to see how's the situation with the drag reduction system, because drivers have 8 DRS available, right, Austin? If I'm correct.
Yes, they do. 8 all lined up and ready to go for you.
If Samborski used plenty of them in the start of the race, might lack a little around this final part of the race, but it's gonna be not so easy for Cody, because whenever he gets closer and closer to the leader, he suffers even more air push through these fast corners. Very interesting development here in the midfield, with a great battle from 7th to 11th place, actually 12th place, from Reed to Burns. We have 5 Americans following each other from 8th to 12th. But as we were saying, following isn't that easy.
Yeah, following is very hard here. The dirty air making it very hard for these cars to follow behind. They can get close, but making the pass, it's just getting into that point where they're burning up too much tire and they have to get out of that preferred line, and it's just hurting them. They do have the straights that they can work with, but it's not working for them right now, as Samborski still 3/10 ahead of Ilbrink.
Yeah, you can see how Hilbring closes down a little bit during the straight, but then whenever there is a corner, he struggles to keep up the distance to the lead, and the same applies also to the guys in the midfield here. Although it's much more easier for them, let's say, to make a mistake and lose positions since they are fighting with the guy in front and the guy behind. So applying some pressure might indirectly make the driver in front crack under pressure. As the two burns are always running together, and Enrique is now looking onto the inside of Groom, but still can't get by. It's quite a lot of time he's following, but has never seemed to be able to find a spot to make the pass work.
Yeah. So we look back at our championship rivals between Tarleton and Delisle. Delisle's falling back from Tarleton. Tarleton, with each lap, as our leaders put in the 1:25.861. Edward Samborski with a masterful lap.
Absolutely, this is by far the best lap of the race. And this showcases how these drivers are on point also with their setup on the long run. But Hilbring didn't lose a lot of time. He's still there, but slowly losing a little bit. As we have a change of position. We have Jamie Byrne losing a spot to Theodore Burns. Now he's back to 12th in the standings.
So Groom leads out Henrique. Henrique right behind him and pressuring him as hard as they can as they race through these high-speed corners and onto the back straight.
We've seen plenty of passes in the opening laps and battles. Now it's more a strategic battle between drivers. Oh, Byrne!
Ooh, no.
He saved it though, but that was very, very
That
tough.
was scary.
Oh,
Ooh. That was a hard hit for Bradford. The front of the car is gone. The end of the car is gone.
An unusual place to crash. Let's see if he hit a curb too hard.
This is too much mustard. Overcorrection, then bam!
Oh boy.
Hard into the wall. Enrique defending from Groom. Going to try to swing it around the outside of Henrique, but Henrique defends it. But now it's Henrique's turn to go around the outside, but he's going to go for the switchback off the exit. Little bit of a wheel spin for Luke Groom. They're going to go side by side once more. Groom's going to take the lead.
Enrique was looking for this pass for a long time and almost made it work, but Groom had an amazing defense and is still leading this pack. As in the meantime, Samborski opened a gap of 1 second on Paul Hilbring in the lead. So after losing ever so slightly every lap and almost getting caught by the driver from the Netherlands, now seems like he could have a chance to pull away, but there's still DRS into place here, so gap might be opening and closing depending on the use of DRS. Let's see if Phil Wright having a moment here, I guess.
Ooh, that's off in the gravel.
He's still running though, so big scary moment, but is still in 6th and has a 2-second gap to Luke Groom, the driver we are on board right now.
Yeah, Groom looking back at the rest of the grid ahead of Enrique Burns and Burn. The Burns are all behind him, and they're certainly burning up the track and these tires by staying in that dirty air.
Yeah, these guys have been together the whole race. It's definitely interesting to see how this battle will turn out in the end. See, driver looking towards the inside, but this is the long version of this corner. No lunges, no tight hairpins. It's more a tough place to pass than the F1 hairpin we are used in the last few years. Ooh, another car wide, and Burns hitting the tire there. Yeah,
into the wall.
This is the over for him.
Massive hit. Got into the gravel, then hard into the wall.
Yeah, he was turning the wheel so hard on the right, but the car was going wider, wider, even more. Second time this corner catches someone out today with worn tires, as Samborski is still trying to keep Paul Hilbrink behind, and he's doing definitely a good job today after getting the pole position. He led all the race long and is now fending off a very strong Paul Hilbrink today here at Catalonia.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful day here in Catalonia.
Yeah, considering it's February in game, it's definitely a very good day.
Yeah, it's got a nice 51% humidity out here near the sea, and 26 degrees Celsius out there on track, 24 degrees in the air with a brisk breeze of 18 kilometers an hour heading in the northeastern direction. And it's all right from here.
We have Burns now hitting pit road with the damage from wing.
Had to go around the entire track with that damage too.
Yeah, definitely he wanted to finish the race on high, not on a low for the last outing of the season, but I'm sure he will come back even stronger next year. Because yeah, it's still December, but for iRacing it's a new calendar year.
Yeah, new calendar year starts in December, apparently, so a time for to be joyful. We all got our new gifts and toys, aka being the new Delaras come in. And BMW GT3s. Was that not supposed to say that?
Oh yeah, plenty of stuff coming. But,
move a big slide, but he kept it out from the wall. But very big moment for him. Enrique and Burns side by side through the final corner. Enrique getting the elbows out right here. He's made that move work, but no, here comes Burn. Burns on the outside, Burn onto the inside. Enrique stuck in there. Now Burns and Burn are going side by side heading into turn 1.
Oh boy, I don't know how they made it work through their side by side, given that we had plenty of drivers having big issues running by themselves. Great racing by these guys. Enrique was almost 7th, and now he finds himself right at the bottom of this group in 10th.
Yeah, Burns staying ahead of Burn, but Burns just had that outside line, but Burn having that draft from both of them going side by side all that time just gave him the push he needed to go 3 wide, straight down to the inside. A little bit of DRS was used, and Theodore Burns into the lead with Jamie Burn right behind Jason Enrique. Oh, he must be fuming.
Oh, I bet he is. Samborski, 3 laps to go, and 3/10 left for Ilbrink before he can actually make a pass work. If he can, because obviously it's not so easy.
Ilbrink's playing games. He's playing games.
Is he?
I feel like Ilbrink is waiting to use that last bit of DRS with 2 laps to go on that front straight and just defend from Samborski, because both these guys have been going at such a high pace. Ilbrink's just been sitting with Samborski, and he's been constantly putting in purple sector 3s lap after lap. I feel like Ilbrink is just waiting. He's just waiting for that right moment. We might have a Watkins Glen situation right here, because everyone's fallen off from Samborski's pace except for Paul Ilbrink, who's just been locked in with him.
I guess we will see very soon, Austin, as these guys are now already in the last sector of the track. If Ilbrink can close down to around 3-4 tenths, he can actually try to prepare an attack, but in the meantime, he just made a mistake and gave Samborski a big margin now to defend, over 1 second.
Delisle being caught by Greg Olson, losing time to Tarleton ahead of him, as they have 2 laps to go now here in Barcelona. Delisle will be winning the championship within 2 laps if he stays right here. All he just needs to do is cross the line.
Yeah, definitely. If he was playing mind games, didn't work, but I think he was giving it all, and with Tyler kicking in that corner, already had plenty of issues with other drivers there, so even the best sometimes make mistakes, as we are still with Burns and Byrne right behind, 8 and 9, and Groom in 7th, still defending. So
we're catching up to Luke.
It's gonna be interesting.
Luke Groom getting slowed up. I'm not sure why Luke is slow though, because they've caught straight up to them.
This is gonna be definitely very entertaining, as we don't really have many battles on the field right now, apart from best lap after best lap, and Ilbrink closing down to 5/10. But in my opinion, as we have also a lap car in front, hopefully we'll move out of the way of the leaders.
Oh yeah, it's Fabio. He's getting out of the way.
Great job.
6-10 separate them.
This is too much, in my opinion.
Yeah. Ilbrink needs to be within at least 4 tenths to even think about making that move on the back straight. As Burns looks down the inside of Groom, he sends it into turn 1. Groom giving it the Ruben now. How is Burns going to hold down that outside line? Now he's got the inside line. Theodore Burns up into 7th place.
Great pass. Groom fended off all the attacks for this race, but unfortunately on the last lap he got passed by Burns, and now he has to defend from Byrne. But also Enrique is lurking around, so if anyone makes a mistake, he's gonna be ready to profit from that.
Yep, Theodore Burns leaving Luke Groom behind as Samborski leads from start to finish. Edward Samborski is going to win the race with Paul Ilbrink right behind and Robert Tarleton in 3rd. Tim Delisle is your Formula 3.5 Challenge champion here in the final season. There's a little bit, and Groom and Henrique and Byrne get into each other. And Henrique will not be... Byrne will not be happy about what Henrique just did right there. Henrique is going to come across in 9th place. Byrne in 10th after a very, very slight contact between them. Henrique just got his nose down onto the inside, and it was just a slight bit of contact, but that contact right there just kind of bumped it out of the way.
In the back moment, maybe a mistake with over optimistic pass. He still gave him a little nudge and helped him stay on track though.
Yeah, he was able to save it and still finish the race, but it was a very disastrous bump right there, and maybe the door was closed, but Henrique was just all the way down to the inside line, and it was a heck of a bump.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was more of a NASCAR move than open wheel, but he made it work. Definitely someone is not gonna be happy, but that's how racing works.
And here are your race results. Sam Borski takes the win, followed by Paul Ilbert, Robert Talton, Tim DeLau, Greg Olson, Phil Reed, Theodore Burns, Luke Groom, Jason Enrique, Jamie Berg, Kenneth Strom, Brian Martin, Ludwig, Rob Crouch, James Byrne, Fabio DeCarlo, Shane Russell, Nick Bradford, Omar Baja, James A. Piecer, and Samuel Pisca at the end of the grid.
We are waiting for the drivers to join us in the booth. Let's see if he can get Edward in a few moments.
Yeah, Edward Samborski had a fantastic race. Tarleton had an amazing start, but unfortunately couldn't stay with the pace by him and Paul Ilbrink. And let's just look at the start again. This start was just insane. Samborski gets off the line. There goes Ilbrink. Then here comes Tarleton immediately up into second place.
He had a great jump, absolutely amazing.
Samborski was using DRS off the line. That was how fast Tarleton was coming.
Oh yeah, and that was, I think, the key to keep P1, because without the DRS, he might have been side by side entering T1. So opening the DRS there gave him just that alpha tenth maybe to turn into T1 in front of Robert Tarleton, who actually did a good job still in third place, but unfortunately that isn't enough for clinching the title.
Yeah, well, we can't. We're trying to find Everett Samborski, but he's not coming in here right now. But we do have Paul Ilbrink standing with us, so let's bring Paul into here. Howdy, 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 Paul. How are you doing?
Exhausted after the race, but yeah, P2, so I'm quite happy.
Well, it was an all right start by you, and then Tarleton came across and just launched past you off the line. Did you have any worried thoughts about this race after immediately dropping down to third?
We got off the line. I was like almost convinced that he jumped a start or something, because I was going like a rocket, and I don't know. I didn't even have the time to think about defending with the arrest towards turn 1 because it was so quick already. So I just let him by. And then I got a bit lucky a bit later when he got a bit loose in turn 3. So got the P2 back, and then it was a nice buffer between Ed and me and Tim and Greg behind. So that was good.
Yeah, you and Edward managed to pull away in the lead and make out a gap, so all you had to worry was each other. We saw you closing in and just staying stuck behind Samborski by about 3/10 to 4/10 for a while in the closing laps. Were you planning on making a last-minute lunge, or was the dirty air just so difficult for you that you couldn't get any closer?
I don't think it was that bad, to be honest. It's just Eddie was really quick here, and I used like half of my DRS in the beginning after I passed Robert to try and catch up with Eddie and sit in his draft and keep up, but his pace was like amazing. So towards the end, when I was a bit closer behind him, I saw him use a couple of DRS to defend when I got a bit close. So I was quite sure that he was like running, had less DRS left than myself. So I was kind of waiting for him to make a couple of mistakes, which like he did, but like they were like tiny, so they just allowed me to catch back up. And then I don't know, with 3 or 2 laps to go, I made a pretty significant mistake myself in the last sector, so I dropped a bit back, so there was not much I could do. But this track, like Tim and Robert I guess showed, it's not that easy to overtake. So yeah, I don't know if I could have battled for the P1. If the opportunity arises, I would have tried it, but yeah, well deserved to Eddie for his nice win.
Yeah, very nicely held by you to get back into second place, and very nice finish. Paul, it's been a very good season for you, very consistently in the results. Before I let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, everybody in this series to race and have so much fun, and you guys for doing nice broadcasts every week. Then, of course, my teammates at Radicals Online and our partners and sponsors, Cranfield Simulation, Armor Centrum, Track Racer, Joe Root, Timing, Turn Racing, MLATF Podcast, Six Sideways, and Pixel Dust.
All right, thank you, Paul. It was a great season for you. Alessandro is standing by with our race winner, Eddie Simborski.
Yes, indeed. Let's bring in team. Eddie, how are you doing? Great race to end the season on a super high. Great qualifying, but that race pace was absolutely amazing.
Oh man, I'm trying not to pass out. That was a lot of work. You know? It was good fun. I mean, Paul hung right in there, man. I don't know how, because it is nearly impossible to follow another car. And I used all my tricks early, so I mean, I was holding on for dear life. I mean, and that left-handed hairpin, I had so much oversteer. I didn't even know how to get through it. And oh man, it was fun though. That was fun.
I bet it was. You were putting crazy lap times one after the other, spot on every lap, super consistent. I don't know how you do that, but that was absolutely incredible. So we wish you absolutely best luck also for next season, because although we have a new car coming on iRacing, this championship will be still very high level, I bet.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm definitely interested in the new car, so I might have my second favorite car figured out already.
Anybody we would like to thank, Eddie, before we let you go?
Yes, I'd like to thank Julian Duane, or I'm not sure if I said that right, the VRS coach, because I had a mega race with him on Wednesday, and it was very similar track conditions, and I'm pretty sure that's why I had the pace today, because I was glued to him to a second for 25 laps, so I learned a lot in that race. And thank you guys for the broadcast, because it's good fun.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it, Eddie. I think we have still one more interview. Austin, who do we pick? Do we pick Robert, or do we get Tim, our champions?
Well, I think we always have to go with Le Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your champion for the final season of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Delisle.
Hey guys.
Hey Tim, how you doing?
Yeah, mixed emotions, I guess. Barcelona's never been my strongest track, but I had good pace in a race I did yesterday, but I knew it was all going to be down to qualifying, and unfortunately I bottled it. But yeah, you know, overall, you know, it's another championship. I did the Booker T 5 time, so
You're making Marco and I die over here.
to the people who got that, I hope they enjoyed it.
We both, Marco and I, we got it, and we dig it, sucker.
Okay.
Tim, off the line, you saw your rival Tarleton jump up into second place. After seeing that, did a little bit of worry fall into you?
Yeah, so I did the calculations before the race, looking at the various SOFs we've had and the points. I knew Robert needed 274 to win the championship, which was around a 4.6k strength of field, and you know, we had 4.555 or something. So I knew it was right on the threshold I didn't know for sure if he could potentially score the points, but I knew if he won, I had to finish third or better. So when he got that rocket start, I was worried. I was picturing Alonso in 2013, I think it was, the fourth to first by the first corner. But yeah, he didn't get there. He got second and then had a little moment. So then, you know, we were in third and fourth. And from that point on, I just got this subliminal urge to smoke some Marlboros because I was getting a real good look at his rear wing because that dirty air was brutal.
Yeah, the dirty air, especially here in Barcelona, is always a big talking point. Do you have anything to say about the dirty air and some of the track selections of the season?
Yeah, well, most of the tracks, the slipstream's been so strong that it counteracts the dirty air. You know, places like Watkins or Monza, Silverstone as well. But here, I think just because you have so many long, sort of high aero corners, turn 3, turn 9, the final corner, it's just really rough. You know, you get a slipstream down the main straight, and then through turns 1 and 2, you can follow. And turn 3, you see the car in front just sort of streak away from you, and it's a bit demoralizing, but it is what it is. Like, yeah, I don't know, just the track where dirty air kind of has the worst effect is the one where I screw up qualifying, but that's on me. So yeah, yeah.
Well, you are Le Champion. Congrats, Tim, and hope you have a great morning and day in front of you over there in Australia. Alessandro, any closing thoughts here today?
Well, we definitely had a very interesting final race of the year where obviously we had a championship decider, so it's always very, very intriguing. And we, as I already said, are definitely looking forward for the next few seasons. Hopefully, the new car won't bring away all this participation, because we always really, really enjoyed, even though I joined pretty much late this season, all these broadcasts here at Apex Racing TV. So definitely we hope to see this series again also in the upcoming seasons.
Yeah, 2021 is just around the corner, and I can tell you the Formula 3.5 series is, well, one season ends, another one's about to begin. Thank you everyone who's been joining us here for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Challenge in Season 4 of 2020. I've been joined by Alessandro Dalladone. Marco Barbanera have been giving us this amazing graphics, camera angles and everything, and also being called Carbonera by YouTube's auto caption, so there's that. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have an amazing night.